Hello. Today we're going to talk about the fact that nobody cares. Nobody cares unless they can see the results. They don't care if you're awesome. They don't care if you're famous. They care if they can see the results. And even if they can see the results, they're not going to change anyway. This is where we are, that it is difficult to get people to join our journey. My name is Chris Butterworth. This is the Healthy Butter Fitness channel. This is the place where we talk about being in our 50s and 60s and fighting off the effects of Father Time every day, every step of the way. You wake up one day and something doesn't work right, and you wonder if it's permanent or what did I do while I was sleeping? And we got to do better than that. I'm 56 years old today and I feel great. When I turned 50, I had chronic lower back issues. I had rotator cuff issues. I had elbow issues. And working through a functional fitness program fixed that. Kettlebells, clubs, Mace, over the course of time with the right stuff. And it's life-changing. And I'm trying to share here what I've learned, cobbling together things from all over the place into something specific that makes more sense. And so I try to share that so that your journey can be better than mine was. But let's get into it. Let's talk about nobody cares. I'm going to go back to a colleague of mine I used to work with back in the days when I worked in an office. His name's Jeff. Jeff, the name has been changed to protect the innocent. Jeff was kind of a bigger guy, and Jeff decided that he was going to do something about it. And we'd go to lunch one time, and he didn't order a lot of food, or it was obvious that he was not eating like he normally did. And you ask him what he's doing. He's, I'm just kind of trying to do a little better, and he downplayed it a little bit, right? Turns out what Jeff did is he made a commitment to himself that he was going to exercise every single morning. He was going to walk every single night after dinner. And his goal was to eat half of what he normally ate. He didn't want to count specific calories. He didn't want to count macros. He didn't want to do a special diet. He basically said, Big Jeff would order this much food. I'm going to take half of that off my plate, and this is what a normal person should eat. And that's what he did. Nobody really paid much attention. But months go by, 9 months, 10 months, we're getting on to a year later, and Jeff had lost about 40 pounds. And then people did notice. People cared. Everybody complimented on him. If you hadn't seen him in a while, he just looked different. His clothes fit better. He looked better. Everybody had something to say, and everybody wanted to know how he did it. But the reality was, nobody wanted to do what he did. Everybody's looking for that magic, I did Weight Watchers. I did Adkins. I did, whatever it is, jump up and down 3 times before I eat. Like, everybody's looking for something specific that he did. And all he did was say, this is what I would normally eat. And he didn't care about throwing food away, which, we can argue about in today's age and save the planet. Nobody wants to waste anything. But the reality is, he said, this is what I would normally eat. And I wasn't wasting anything. I wasn't, taking food from anybody's table or whatever. I'm just not going to eat that part. And that's what he did. And it worked wonders. Nobody else did it. It was so simple. Move your body a little bit, eat less over the course of time, and you can have a dramatic change. Nobody else did it. Not one person in our office. In talking to him, he didn't know one other person that copied his method. I know a few people that have gotten big into hypertrophy, weightlifting for size, and over the course of time, if they do it properly, people can get big. Big arms, big chest, big shoulders. You get that triangle shape, that V shape. My son is college age. He looks like that nowadays. I know a few other people that have gone through that. And over the course of time, people's bodies change. And at first, nobody cares. You're drinking a protein shake, you're going to the gym, nobody cares, right? Stack that on over and over and over and over again. A year goes by, 18 months go by, 2 years go by, and all of a sudden you're big, right? And everybody notices, and everybody wants to know what your secret is. What do you do? What exercises do you do? How much protein do you eat? And everybody cares about it, right? But the work that you did and the amount of protein that you ate, you can get big not following that exact method. It's the fact that you did it every single day for a year and a half or for 2 years or whatever it is. The plan is simple. The execution is difficult and people don't want to do it. Now, in our world here, where we're talking about being healthy, we're talking about fighting off the effects of Father Time, we're talking about, that hip that pops or the shoulder that clicks or, whatever it is doesn't feel right. In the real world, there's not a visual for back pain, let's say, or for shoulder pain. Maybe if you work closely with somebody or if you're with them every day, you know that something's not right. They just move funny when they lift or whatever it is, right? You can tell. But by and large, we don't complain about it. There's not a meter. You don't have like a pain meter that shows up when you get out of your chair. Nobody really knows how much pain you're in. And when you fix it, nobody really knows how awesome you are, right? And if they do, if somebody knows you and they actually notice that you're moving better than you used to, or my personal story I've shared a few times is sometimes when I'm with my peers, my friends, and we're doing stuff, I move better than most of the guys my age. I am thankful that I found this functional fitness path. I think that it has been a huge contributor to it. And some of the guys that I hang out with will notice that I move pretty well, but they never ask. It's never about the exercises that I do. It's luck, it's genetics, it's just who I am. That's just Chris. He can climb that tree. He's gonna do a backflip over there. So I don't think people look at the results and say, I want those results. What did you do? And then they're gonna dive in and do it as well. It's just not how our society is built right now. It's not how people are wired. If I go to a functional fitness example with a famous person, you can actually go look this up. There is a movie star. There's a guy named Chris Pine, super good looking guy. We would all want to look like that. Movie star, famous, big picture item, big pictures. He was in Men's Journal in August of 2019, and they did a big story on him, several pages long, and it talked about his off the beaten path workout program. And he talked about some of the other guys that are famous at that time. He talked about the guy, Chris, Thor and Captain America, and he talked about they're going to the gym and they're eating 7,000 calories a day and they're trying to get bigger. They want those on-screen muscles. And he said he doesn't want that. Like he's happy with how he looks. He loves the movement. And he loves being able to move the way his body was designed, and it's more graceful, and he has full range of motion. And he went on and on about how his workout made him feel better. His workout, then they went into detail his workout was about heavy clubs. He works out with steel clubs, and his personal trainer at the time was Mark Wildman, one of the probably my favorite YouTube personality YouTuber that I follow, online fitness guy. So here you have a famous movie star who looks fantastic, who trains with steel clubs by, one of the best club people online. Like, this is a perfect storm that the word should get out and we should all be doing this. And you know what happened? You close the magazine and nobody ever talked about clubs again. Here we are 6 years later, 7 years later, and we're talking about clubs. I'm doing club workouts and nobody knows what I'm talking about. So the point of all of this is that as you do your functional fitness routine, as you put your program together, as you do kettlebells, clubs, maces, this is wholly an internal program. You are doing this to feel better. You're doing this because you want to feel better for years. It is living with chronic pain is so much not fun compared to just being able to roll over and jump out of bed and ready for the day. When you can't do that, you realize how awesome that is. And this is the kind of thing where I can tell everybody I know about it, and nobody wants to come join this journey with me, at least IRL, right? In real life. None of my friends, everybody knows I do this. Nobody wants to come do it with me. I am putting a lot of effort into this channel. We make video after video. We talk about it. I'm trying to show you guys how my program is built, what I did, what worked, what didn't work, how we put this together. And I am hopeful that with all of this effort that I'm putting in, can I get somebody to do it with me, right? Can we get a handful of people to take this journey and feel better? Over time, can we build a community? And you know, that's all you can do is try to pay it forward, be available when people want help. We are in a society where getting old just seems to go hand in hand with chronic pain and reduced mobility and stiffness and medication and surgeries. And I don't think it has to be that way. And we want to do better. So nobody cares what we're doing. We want people to care. And we're going to try to keep doing what we're doing. Can we build a community here? Can we reach out to some people? Can we change some lives? And one life at a time. That's all I've got today. Love to hear your story. If you're able to go through, if you're able to share it with friends and family, if you're able to see improvement, let me know. Let me know what works, what doesn't work. If you're able to get anybody join the journey with you, I'd love to hear about it. And we'll keep moving forward from there. That's all I have today. Have a great day. Go get better.